What's up, friends? Welcome to Breathe with Georgie. I'm Georgie, and this is your weekly breathwork intervention to find energy, focus, and empowerment. So today we're really going to zoom in on that word focus. I'm going to show you a quick and really easily integratable technique to find that focused, calm state of flow, where productivity becomes effortless, where all sense of time disappears and you are just effortlessly gliding through at such a beautiful, natural rhythm and tempo. It feels so good, and we want to be in that state as often as we possibly can. So today I'm going to help you get there. I won't say much more because we're going to explore it all during the technique. Now, like most of my guided breathwork videos, you can do this technique absolutely anywhere. Sitting, standing, you can do it in the middle of a busy street. You don't need a quiet space. You can integrate it absolutely anywhere. With this one, you do need to be static though, sat or stood still, just because we do close down our eyes at some points in the exercise. So I don't want you to walk into something on my account. So do make sure you're able to be still. Otherwise, let's get breathing. Okay guys, so wherever you are, let's come into that optimal alignment that's going to make our breathing a little bit easier from the get-go. So whether you're standing or sitting, come to a place where the crown of the head is balanced over the center of the pelvis. Notice if you're leaning forward a little bit or leaning back or over to one side, and just come into that optimal alignment where everything is stacked. Now, let's make our breathing a little bit more optimal, a little bit more efficient. So gently bring your lips together. Place the tip of the tongue gently on the roof of the mouth. And start to breathe light, slow, and deep in and out through your nose. Light, slow, deep, natural breaths. Just start to become aware of your breathing. Allow your breathing to become your anchor of focus for a moment. Good. You might notice that just by bringing your awareness onto your breathing actually starts to slow down naturally. Allow that to happen and notice what happens to your physical sensations. Even if you're stood up, you might feel a sense of melting in your body. Enjoy that juicy feeling of that tension melting away just for a moment. Good. Now allow any thoughts and feelings to be there. If you've got quite a noisy mind today, that's totally okay. We're not trying to eliminate our thoughts or feelings in breath work. We're simply practicing acknowledging the thought or feeling, but not identifying with it, and gently bringing our awareness back onto the breath, back home to our authentic selves, and back into the present moment. Just try that a couple of times. Every time a thought or feeling comes into your experience, acknowledge it, and then gently bring your awareness back onto the breath. This in itself is a practice that's going to help to build your attention span. The amount of time we can hold our attention on one given thing. Now, the more we increase our attention span, the richer our experience becomes, the less interrupted our experiences are, and that includes conversations with your loved ones, reading that great book without feeling that urge to check your phone or to do some menial tasks that you know can wait till later because you're doing something that's important to you. So building your attention span through the breathing, through the breath, is a really vital and important practice that can really add some richness to our lives. Okay. Let's start to flow into today's technique. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a gentle breath in through the nose, expanding the lower ribs, keeping that breath effortless. And we're going to exhale on a gentle hum and only allowing the hum to last the length of your natural exhalation. Be careful there not to force the air out whilst you're humming. You'll notice if you're forcing, because you'll feel some tightness, some gripping in your lower abdomen. Keep that belly soft, keep that Buddha belly. Remember, the Buddha was not fat. The Buddha was relaxed. So let that belly hang out for a moment. Don't worry about looking cool when you're doing any of this. I'm the uncoolest person I know. I'm proud. So let that Buddha belly hang out. All right, and let's take that gentle breath in through the nose. And let's just practice that hum once together, just so we can get the first part of the technique. Inhale. Exhale on that hum. Good, breathe normally. So that's the first part of the technique. And when we put all parts of the technique together, we're going to close down the eyes for that part. Now, just for a moment when you were humming there, did you notice that your mind became a little bit clearer? Have you ever noticed that you can't hum and think at the same time? Humming has so many benefits. That's a wonderful exercise in its own right. It can increase production of nasal nitric oxide by up to 7 times. Now that nitric oxide expands your blood vessels and your airways, allowing more oxygen to be delivered to your tissues, muscles, organs, and cells, and for more blood flow to be delivered to your brain, okay? So it's really useful to increase that circulation and increase that oxygen uptake. So that's the first part of the technique. Now, once we've finished our hum, we're going to open the eyes. We're going to focus on a spot far away from us. Any spot will do. And we're going to send the breath to that point, fixing your gaze as if your life depends on it, on that spot. Let's just try that bit now. Just focusing your eyes on a spot far away from you and seeing if you can send your exhale to that point. So we're really working on extending our exhalation here. Now that's a wonderful thing to do to slow down the heart rate, stimulate the vagus nerve to bring us into a more parasympathetically dominant state of rest and digest. It's also really great to increase that focus, to find a drishti point, as we call in yoga. Just a point that you can fix your gaze on, to stop your vision being a little bit scatty, to really find that hyper focus. Now, once we've found that portrait mode vision, your pupils constrict, everything becomes focused on that one thing, and all that noise, all that unnecessary information is filtered out. And funnily enough, when our pupils constrict, when our pupils get smaller, we actually come into a more parasympathetically dominant state of rest and digest. Interestingly enough, we have to be in a calm state to find hyperfocus. Yeah, if we are overstimulated, if we're over-aroused, we become very unfocused. We become panicky, anxious, erratic. We don't want that, okay? So that's the technique for you. Inhale, exhale on that hum, eyes closed. We open the eyes, we focus on a point far away from us, and we send the breath to that point, elongating the exhale. Let's put all the elements together and let's try it. So let's come back to our breath. Let's come back to breathing collectively and take a gentle breath in with me. And a long, slow breath out. Let's do one more of those to really sync up our breathing. Exhale and close down your eyes for me, and we'll flow into this technique. We'll do it about 3 or 4 times. So take a gentle breath in through your nose, eyes closed. Exhale on that hum. Release the hum, open the eyes, focus on a spot in front of you, and send your breath to that point far away from you. Now resist the urge to make your breathing any bigger, to force the air in and out of the nose. We want to keep the breathing really nice and light, really nice and effortless. Keeping your gaze fixated on that point in front of you. Allow that to take the entirety of your attention and awareness. Good, one more breath here. And if you want to illustrate the journey of the breath to that point far away from you with your hand, do so. Can be quite useful. Let's go again, closing down the eyes, gentle breath in through the nose, sending the air down to expand the lower ribs. Exhale on that hum. Open the eyes, focus on that point. It doesn't have to be the same point. Just allow your eyes to focus on the first point that you see. And send your breath to that point. And this time, I want you to see if you can keep your breathing silent. Inaudible breathing. Light, deep, natural, effortless breathing. Keep your eyes fixated on that point. One more breath. Close down the eyes, inhale. Exhale on that hum. Inhale, open the eyes, fixate your gaze. Come back to that effortless light breathing with that extended exhalation, really slowing things down. Almost as if time itself is slowing down. Now notice what happens to your visual focus. Notice what happens to your mental focus. Check the body is still relaxed. Continue to fix your gaze on that point far away from you and send your breath to that point. You could even imagine as you inhale the breath traveling from far away from you, entering the nostrils, making that journey all the way down to expand the lower ribs, really slowing down the inhalation. Before we take that slow exhalation, lower ribs contract, air travels up, out the nose, out to that point far away from you, really slowing the breath down now. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Keep your visual focus on that point far away from you. And now close down your eyes. But keep that point of focus in your mind's eye. Could you bring the image of that point you were just focusing on into your mind, as if you were still focusing on it even though your eyes are now closed? Could you keep sending your breath to that point? Continuing to take those long, slow exhalations, sending the breath far away from you, but without needing to put in any significant effort. Keeping it completely effortless. Couple more breaths here. Notice any shifts in your mental focus, in your physical sensations. One more breath. And gently start to bring your awareness back to your physical body, wiggling fingers, toes, perhaps rolling the shoulders, taking a stretch, do whatever you need to do. And when you're ready, gently bow your chin to your chest, staring into that space behind the closed eyelids, looking for any colours, patterns, shapes that might be coming into your experience. And then gently blinking your eyes open. Coming back for a moment. And just noticing the shifts. Do you feel a little bit more in your body? Do you feel some mental clarity, some focus? Now, that's a 10-minute technique. If that, it can be a 3-minute technique if you want it to be. It's so accessible. It's so integratable. You can do it anytime, anywhere. Before a big meeting, do that 3 times. You can do it sat in an office chair, gentle hum, focus on a point, send your breath to that point, and you will go into any situation feeling focused, feeling calm, but feeling energized and in flow. We want to come back into that state of flow as much as we possibly can. It allows us to richen, is that a word? To enliven our experiences. Let's say that. It allows us to add richness to our experiences. Perhaps that's the phrase I was looking for. But you know what I mean. It adds color, it adds focus, and it helps us to perform at our best when we really, really need to. So thank you for joining me for this week's breathwork technique. I really, really hope you enjoyed. Do let me know in the comments below about your experience. Use this whenever you feel you need to come into flow, and I will see you next week.